So we're gonna do an iPhone 6 water damage diagnosis now. So first things first, sometimes depending on if the customer had it on before, I may plug it into the charging port charger. May not always be a good idea if they haven't done that before, so I would avoid that just in case you're causing any damage that wouldn't have otherwise been caused. This person specifically, they had it on, so, and I can see, I mean, only slightly maybe. So let me see if there was maybe a drop on there. I can see around the charging port there's a bit of gunk, maybe. I'm gonna see now if the water sensor has been triggered, and it has. The water sensor has been triggered there. But apart from that, like the top one for example, that's almost completely white. It's barely red. So, and how recent has this been? The water damage?
Couple of days, I think.
Couple of days, is it? So if this would have been actually submerged in water, we would still see water here. I barely touched anything. So, but just to make sure, I'm going to take some plates off and see if I see any corrosion or any signs of water. And that went flying. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I can see a little bit of corrosion and rust around the charger, around the battery. Only slightly bit. The actual components it hasn't touched on that end. Clear by the charging port. Let me see the top. And then maybe we'll check underneath. I think most likely all it will need is a charging port actually. Which is lucky. So that's all perfect. Let me actually have that under the microscope. So if I switch to the microscope, you'll be able to see it's all completely perfect. You can see that red, well, it's still a bit, it's only a tiny bit red really. It's mostly white.
Kevin, Uwe said you're offline.
No, I'm not. So that looks all good. There was a slight mark here, like on top of there, just slightly there. One tiny watermark there, and there, and then around the SIM tray. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what I normally would do. I'm just going to test it out, see what it does. So my guess is that the charging port is probably corroded away. Maybe. Let's see if it turns on. And I'm going to switch back. Now the screen is in question as well because most of the time what gets damaged actually doing water damage. Especially when the phone survives is usually the screen. So we'll see that now. See if it shows anything battery symbol wise. It does not. So let's see what happens if I plug it in. It's drawing nothing. Okay, so let me check if a new charging port would work. And by the way, I'm going to do this diagnosis is going to be much more in depth. It's just to see if the phone turns on with a new charging port. I'm going to check underneath the board as well, just to make sure. and it does take charge with a new charging port.
So it might be only new to charge.
So the likeliness of it, yeah, no, the likeliness of it being the charging port is very high. So microscope, let's see. Oh, my desk looks disgusting. It's flipped, but whatever. It's drawing almost an amp, so that's good. So that's with a new charging port. And you can see now it's showing the battery symbol as well. Just to be safe, I'll make sure.
Showing an image on the screen.
It is showing an image on the screen.
Cool.
So just to be safe, I want to take this apart completely and check underneath the board if there's any more signs of water. I doubt it. This looks quite dry and perfect.
So only water, only the charging port was hit by the water then.
Yeah, pretty much. There was maybe a drop inside, which is it didn't touch anything. So I can see the back lens is also cracked. So I don't know if that person wants the back lens done, maybe?
Yeah, I mean when you finished with it, then I can
Yeah.
call and ask. But it will be completed by tomorrow or not?
Yeah. Depends if she just wants the charging port done, I can do it like right now. It only takes about 10 minutes.
It's iPhone 6?
Yeah. Well, I have to do some more testing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call it now.
Okay. And again, let's take the microscope. I can see now this is absolutely perfect. And there we are. That's the actual underfill on the Wi-Fi chip. So that's all perfect on the underneath. So if it would have touched anything, it would have been around the NAND, because that's where the water sensor was triggered, and that's where we saw a bit of liquid on top. And that's all fine, it's perfect. No signs of water here either. So yeah, it's clear that's the only issue with the charging port. Most likely we still have to fully test the screen. But so yeah, you can call if you want.
Is it ticket 10371?
Yeah.
So it's just a charging port.
Just a charging port. If she wants the back lens done in camera, we can do that as well. We would need the pin code for that if she wants it done, and obviously £10 discount on that. If it's a charging port, I can do it today. If it's the lens as well, that may be a struggle.
There's another iPhone 6 diagnosis.
So, a lot of people in the repair community say that it's not worth doing water damage repair. I disagree because you get cases like these a lot.
Come in.
Hello.
Well done.
Right, well
All
done.
sorted,
It
yeah.
worked.
Oh, and it worked, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you are.
Excellent. So he's going to the kids can reset it all through now.
Yeah.
Is it back to factory, is it?
Yeah. There you
Ah.
are.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Chinese.
I know. Well, tiny should be changing in a minute because it goes through all the
Oh, it goes
language.
through the
Yeah,
walls,
it goes
is it?
through the
Oh, right, okay. Hola. I know that bit.
Me too, no.
That's only bit I'm bonjour, there we are.
Right. Let me see. Have you done the invoice, Beth?
Oh no, I haven't. Whoops. I need to do that actually.
Takes a second.
Okay.
It was 55, wasn't it?
Yeah.
55 pound, please.
So it was the chip and then something else and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
managed to bypass that.
Yes. There you are.
There we are.
I will send everything over to your email address.
That's fine, not a
Any
problem.
issues, you know
Okay.
where we are.
There we
Okay?
are.
One thing to note is what usually causes issues
Oh,
like
that's
this.
one
Yeah.
value.
Very important. Usually, not always.
Yeah,
Bad charging cables or cheap charging cables.
right.
So that's something to note. Yeah.
We did buy an extra one, which is a cheap one.
Yeah.
about 3 weeks before this is.
Exactly. There you go.
That, is it?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll
It's
take it.
certified. The best,
Yeah.
but we only use anchor cables here.
Okay.
You can get them on Amazon.
So
You don't have to buy Apple, but you can buy certified. As long as certified is fine. So.
Just certified. There we are. Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell him
Thank
that then.
you.
I'll throw them away. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. There we go. It's done. No, actually, it's not done.
I'm just getting in contact with Kathy now because I can't reach her.
Yeah. Actually. Okay. There we go. I'm going to actually boot this off DC power supply just to see the screen. So, I'm going to demonstrate something now, which I hope the cables are long enough. Actually, they're not. Let me tilt this a bit. There you go. So, what I'm going to demonstrate is my power squid. So these, I can't remember what this is called. You can get it from Union Repair though. It's called iPower Pro. So this, you can boot off DC power supply. So, you know, a wall plug basically, off a wall outlet. And what you can do with this is, if I get like, for example, the iPhone 6 out, instead of just having a battery connector, you also have a charging port connector, and that will prompt to boot, or will allow you to prompt to boot, so it'll turn it on basically for you. This is helpful when you just have the board out and you don't want to mess around with getting a flex cable connected to prompt to boot with, you know, as a power button. And you can't be asked with the tweezers and all that, so I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to demonstrate this now. So right now the phone's getting power. I can see there's no issue in terms of shorts. It doesn't have a short on main power lines because it's not drawing any power when it's off. Now you can see my hand, I'm not touching anything. I can prompt to boot from here. It basically mimics you plugging in a charger into the... Okay, and then immediately we can see, by the way, I hope you haven't finished that SMS.
No.
Okay. The screen is pretty much ruined. So while it does work, water has gone in between the backlight and the LCD. So there's all these watermarks.
Alright.
So this screen may fail, but even so, it's almost cases unreadable. So she definitely needs a new screen and a charging port.
Okay.
And the DC power supply is saying it's booting normally. So like I said, I didn't plug in anything. I prompted boot from the iPower Pro, which is really handy when you don't have it in the housing.
Yes.
So it does have touch, that's no problem.
So definitely screen.
Yeah. So she was lucky because the water went into the screen instead of the phone. Into the screen.
6S, is it?
6.
Okay.
iPhone 6. So 55 plus 25 because of the £10 discount. And if she wants the lens done, obviously then another 25. So, but yeah. So the screen works. If she wanted to, she could just have the... But I can't guarantee that the screen's going to last.
Yeah.
So... So, Touch ID works. No SIM, there's actually no SIM in there. I don't think there's any issues with that anyway. So, board-wise, phone's perfect.
So the screen works. But you can't really read it properly, is it?
Well, you can read it. It's just got watermarks all over it. So that's up to her. Sometimes they dry out, actually.
And should I say that?
Yeah, yeah. That's her choice. That's completely up to her. So I'm going to reassemble it now. And you can just power off. And that's it. Disconnect. Don't have to wait for the battery to charge. It's really quick and easy. Really easy to diagnose then if there's any shorts on the board. So actually let me let the battery be connected and charge. Shouldn't be any issue anyway. The battery has no sign of water damage. Anyway, like I was saying, so these are really a good idea. Now if a phone's completely water damaged, unless it's for data recovery, we won't do it either. If it's like a small issue, like, you know, there's a little bit of corrosion around the camera circuit or whatever, then that's fine. But if it's like the complete phone is corroded, then we're not going to do it unless it's for data recovery purposes. But we like to get them through the door because instances like this, the phone's fine, the board, and you can just replace the parts then. So that's completely fine then.
Die Linse gar nicht erst erwähnen.
Okay. It's been broken for a while anyway, I don't think she minds. So battery's taking charge as normal.
So only charging port and possibly screen, yeah?
Yeah.
100%?
Yeah.
account altogether, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that would be done by tomorrow, isn't it?
All of it, because by the time you get a reply,
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Tudor has
Picked up.
picked up, yeah?
It is marked off, isn't it?
No?
Why should it not be marked off? Let me mark it off.
No, it's done.
Oh.
I'm getting used to this live streaming. Can you
I
tell?
can tell you're more confident and more loose.
So expect more live streams. I want 1 million subscribers.
I think even PewDiePie has got million subscribers.
PewDiePie!
I don't know these people. Do
He's got over 60 million subscribers. He's the biggest YouTuber.
His channel is rubbish though, isn't it?
Huh?
I think he's rubbish.
I think he's entertaining.
No,
Entertaining.
He gets
It's
on
he's entertaining if you're younger. If you're even younger than me, he's probably even more entertaining because I have stopped watching him as well.
Alright, see, so you don't find him that entertaining either.
I like his try not to laugh challenges. Actually, they're not that good anymore. I like Markiplier's though. Markiplier's are really good. Markiplier's a really nice guy. So instead of
Saying his name loads, do you keep repeating his name
Yeah.
with the hope that he's gonna watch your
Yeah.
channel, is it?
Markiplier, watch my channel. And make sure to subscribe, especially if you're Markiplier. But if you need these repairs done, I'm happy to do them for you. So if you just go on the website, the send-in server is not online yet, but we're gonna get that sorted. So
Can you pay attention for a sec?
okay.
Can you look into hang on, where's it gone? Did you resolve some tickets?
Yeah.
Alright.
Why?
Because there was a ticket earlier one that was a diagnosis as well on iPhone 6 or something like that?
Yeah, that's Laurie.
No, that wasn't Zoe.
All right.
You know who I mean. It was there just like half an hour ago.
Yeah, that's the TriStar one we just did.
Oh, right, I see.
I already marked it off. So, but you heard they bought a charging cable, a cheap charging cable 3 weeks ago, And 3 weeks later, the phone's completely dead. They've lost all the data. Luckily, it wasn't important, but they lost all their data, and you know that's how stuff happens. So the reason why it's important is because we don't necessarily have to buy Apple cables, right? But these cables, they have protection in the top here, that when there's a voltage spike, it goes back down the cable instead of into the phone, or like it protects the phone basically. And usually happens on car chargers, most common, stuff like that. So the problem is the cheaper ones, they don't have that protection. If a cable costs less than £4, you know it's fake, because it takes about £4 per cable to actually certify it. So why would anyone sell a cable where they're not making a profit, where they're making a loss? That's not logical. So if it's less than £4, it for sure is a fake charging cable, non-certified. It won't protect your phone if there's an issue. So
Hey, hi. Have you received my message? All right. It doesn't matter. I can tell you anyway over the phone. So we completed the diagnosis, and it looks like you definitely need a new charging port. Possibly a new screen, but that's up to you. The screen works, but it has got watermarks all over it. It may dry out after, over time. So the charging port itself is £35. The screen, if you decide to have a new screen, would be £55, but on the whole you get a £10 discount. So altogether the entire repair would be £80. But that's entirely up to you. If you want a new screen, that's fine. If not, that's also okay. Okay, charging port. Okay, yeah, that's not a problem at all. The repair will be done by tomorrow. Is that okay?
tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning sometime. I'll let you know then when it is done, okay? Alright then. Thank you. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, for the minute only the
Charging port, okay, no problem. So I'm going to do that really quick, just to finish off this stream.
I mean, if we can say then when she comes in, obviously you can't guarantee if the screen will not fail over time.
Yeah, obviously
You
not.
can always have it done then.
Yeah.
I would say try it to dry it out.
Yeah, because yours worked
I
fine.
just wanted to say mine dried out
Yeah.
as well, didn't it?
Yours wasn't as extreme, but it did have watermarks.
Yeah.
So what's the best angle to do here? Maybe like that. Actually, maybe push this away. I'm going to zoom in a bit more, just so you people can see. How nice am I? So, obviously took those 4 screws out.
No.
Antenna cable. So just to recap, this is the water damaged phone, all it needs is a charging port. This is why advertising for water damage repair is good, because sometimes it's literally just that. And you can see here, there's some watermarks here, around here. You can see that there. So it really hasn't gone any further into the phone than that, apart from that on the screen. So that's fine. Vibration motor. I'm going to be calling out what they are just for complete newbies. This is like a bracket that goes over the lightning port. And this is for the microphone.
Have you tagged now? No.
No, I haven't had time to tag. So lightning connection, the contacts for the speaker. This is the speaker. So that just goes on top of there and it connects. Antenna cable, vibration motor contacts, lightning port. Bottom microphone is free on the iPhone. If you have microphone issues, make sure it's the correct microphone. And then headphone jack. So you can just rip that out. And let's get a white one, because this is a gold phone. And make sure the microphone isn't covered with adhesive. The microphone hole, that is. Right, so if you can tell, I laid these all out correctly, so it's really easy to tell where they go. There's a pattern to it. This is really overexposed.
Oh.
I really need to sort out the lighting and camera settings on
I
this.
think it's perfect. I don't know what the problem is.
You see it now in a bit when I turn the finger on. So you have to fold and mold this, and there's actually pieces there, plastic pieces. I'm not sure what they're from, maybe from the old charging ports. That's why I didn't fold so well. I hope this works now. So if you fold this like that, make sure you don't use anything sharp, otherwise you're going to cut it. And fold this. If you don't do that, the speaker will be up and you won't be able to press the screen down fully, so make sure to do that. So that's all fine. Well,
Or just tell me to wave and he will wave back.
so now to put the speaker down. that's pretty much done. And let's clip in the antenna cable. The antenna cable runs right along the speaker here and underneath it, so make sure it's in the right place so it doesn't get squashed. It runs and it carries on running here, and it goes to the charging port. Now why does it do that? Well, if you notice these disconnections in the frame, it actually uses the bottom piece of the phone as the antenna for the signal, and same with the top piece just for the Wi-Fi and GPS. So the entire phone is actually one big antenna, really. Now if you're new to this, don't connect the battery before you connect the screen, because you probably won't be experienced enough to guarantee that's not going to mess up. Because if you bridge something while it's connected, yeah, that's going to mess up the phone. So new charging port installed in this water damaged phone, or ex-water damaged phone. Well, it still kind of is because of the screen, but if the customer doesn't like it, they can still go ahead with the screen replacement if they want to. And I'll show you now what I mean with the screen. While it does work, it has pretty bad watermarks in it, because there's water in between the backlight and the LCD. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just how it is. It's not going to run anywhere. It's just like moisture. So if I turn it on, and you can see there, it's a right mess.
Will it won't be going further into the phone
No.
now, is it?
No. The worst it can do is mess up the screen. So that's good. I'm just testing, seeing if there's enough room between the screen and the speaker. Just want to make absolute sure that's flat. And it is. So that's good.
I probably would do the same. I would try
There you go.
trying it out.
It may go away. It probably won't be perfect, but it'll go away a bit. So
Again, I wouldn't care about that. I don't need to. It would bother you, but it wouldn't bother me. As long as I can do everything and anything with the phone anyway.
so let's just test if that works. It's going to be a bit upside down, but that's fine. Microscope, no, wrong. There we are. So if I... this is upside down. If you look in the bottom left corner now, where it says 000A, if I connect, let's see, which one is it? There you go. It jumps straight up to, it's upside down, but it's up to 1.4 amps. So that's taking charge properly now. I'm just going to test the speaker. That works as well. Vibration works. And that's pretty much all done. The only other thing I would like to test ideally is microphone, but we let the customer test that. So that's fine. That's all done. There we go.